Welcome to the Cincy PostCast. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I want to tell you about our friends over at Streetside Brewery, the best daggone brewery you're going to find in the city. Located on the east side of Cincinnati in the Columbia-Tusculum East End neighborhood. It's a fantastic variety of beers, delicious food, an amazing location. Oh, a nice patio as the weather starts to cool a little bit. Throw a sweatshirt on, sit out on that patio, drinking a cool brewski. Oh, it doesn't get better than that, let me tell you. Streetside is also an FC Cincinnati pub partner where you can watch FC Cincinnati games. So go check them out. I am so happy that Streetside has sponsored this episode and so many other episodes this season and last season. They have been such good friends of the podcast. Go treat them well. So thank you, Streetside, for sponsoring this episode. And thank you, listener, for patronizing Streetside. And on today's episode, oh boy. This might be the spiciest episode we've ever released. Sure, there's some old men yelling at clouds for a little bit when it comes to iShowSpeed. We do get Grayson back. That's exciting. But the bulk of this episode is dedicated to the discussion around Miles Robinson becoming a designated player in 2026 and 2027 with an option for 2028. This is a big departure from how FC Cincinnati has built their rosters in the past. This is a very precious roster slot that is being used by a player already on the team and by a center back at that. Oh, it is a great conversation around what this means for FC Cincinnati, Miles Robinson, the roster build, the championship window we may or may not be in over the next year or couple of years. It's a good one. If you enjoy people having heated conversations about things that they love, oh, you're going to love this episode. We also spend roughly 45 seconds predicting the Nashville match at the end of this. Put it all together, you got yourselves, as I said, a spicy postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, I am joined by two gentlemen, one of which is fresh off of his rescue mission to go bring Samuel Guidi back. No, for the first time, not back, for the first time to the United States. Welcome back to the pod, Grayson. How are we doing?
Yeah, let's just say mission accomplished.
He's back, folks.
I looked high and low for him. Some people would probably question the places I looked, but you can't question the results. He's in training.
Well done.
I don't know if they've made him sing a song yet for the team.
Yeah, a little rookie.
He apparently did have to sing one for the Slovakian U21 national team. I would like to know if he ended up singing a Slovak song or another song. I believe
it's probably Taylor Swift. Let's be real.
The last reporting that I saw, that was apparently up for grabs or undecided. I don't know if he went up and did like a Jivio or he did something else, but
I love that we have reporting on the song he may or may not have sung for the Slovak U22 national team. U21 national team.
They're generally odd years, right?
I just think they don't want any of them. They just don't want any of them drinking. Nobody in Slovakia drinks under age 21, right?
Well done, Grayson. Well done, Grayson.
He is real. Grayson and Guidi, they're both real.
Both of them are real.
Allegedly.
Maybe the same person. I'll just throw that out there. All right.
We haven't seen pictures of Guidi in training officially.
Correct. So I assume he is not there. until I see photographic evidence.
And even then, I mean, I've seen what they can do with AI these days.
It's a good point.
It would be a long time before we realize that this was a hoax.
But Joe Rogan has said that he has saw a picture of Gideon training.
Okay, well, that's good. I was thinking, Chief, we've talked about the fake player. AI could create a fake highlight reel. You could easily get pretty far down the process with some AI.
And then the other thing too is that you could AI can do not only the fake highlight, but I've seen the way the music generators are. It can probably make the dubstep music you need in order to create a true highlight video of an unknown player.
They're definitely way past the technology threshold to make the music for a highlight reel.
Yeah.
Actually, they got there first.
Yeah. Also, I hate to fact check on the spot, but FC Cincinnati did post pictures of Samuel Geedy in training 4 hours ago.
God. Okay, well, I said that we hadn't seen them.
Yeah, well, now that's a great point. I'm turning my computer off.
It's still true that I hadn't seen them.
I don't know, but he's never been in my kitchen before.
If he plays on Saturday, I'm closing my eyes. Okay.
Still never seen him play.
I'm only listening to Tommy G describe him.
I broke my leg trying to get another beer walking up the stairs, but I never saw Geedy play, not for 1 minute.
Also, I'd like to point this out for the two of you and nobody else, just as proof that I was once a season ticket holder and I'm ready to engage in season ticket holder gift discourse. I raise my glass of a teeny tiny rocks glass with a little Basil Hayden in it to the both of you. So
I didn't get the memo. Apparently I was supposed to bring my FCC glassware upstairs. My bad.
I used mine last night. So I have my my groomsmen gift from my brother-in-law.
I was going to say
my Christian name on it.
Grayson's glass looked, say, adult size versus I guess my kitty size tumbler.
So I actually like the FC tumbler.
Makes you think you're not really drinking as much as you are.
Right. Yeah. And it's still big enough to fit like a big cube.
See, but barely. And you do end up if you get a nice round one, you could easily get your bourbon to the brim.
No, it's the perfect weeknight glass because you can pour yourself a glass on a weeknight and still feel like you're drinking, I'm having a full cocktail after work. You can still have that experience. You can live and you can be a functional adult. And then you can save the larger glassware, the groomsmen gifts for the weekends when there's not as much responsibility going on the next day.
Yeah. I like it.
Got it all worked out. This is stay tuned for more drinking and working life tips.
I'm feeling a little judged in the moment.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to drink out of a normal size whiskey tumbler on a weeknight.
You're recording a podcast. None of us want to do this sober like that.
None of us want to do this at all.
Yeah, period.
It hurts the takes, number one. And number two, it's you got to have something to get through the evening.
Oh, man. Well,
but Chris Albright expects it, so here we are.
Here we are. Before we dive into what I assume will be the meat and potatoes of the episode, I say 8 minutes into recording a podcast, I just want to say that I think for the three of us.
By the way, hold on,
please.
Speaking of meat and potatoes, more Slovakian stories here.
No. Speaking of important podcast content.
Okay.
Apparently, there is a documentary about the making of Megalopolis that has been released, or it's been out at film festivals recently. It's called Megadoc,
baby.
And I'm just
Megadoc.
I'm just mentioning it because I think we're gonna have to make time to watch this. And
yeah, no doubt.
This is definitely off-season content.
The way my face lit when you were like, "Oh, it's a documentary about Megalopolis." I cannot be more interested.
I listened to a little bit of a review of it. It was not very detailed, but one of the phrases that was used was Shia LaBeouf finds the camera I'm like, okay, let's go.
What is it? I don't know how to ask this. Is it an official documentary or is this like?
I think it is because the guy who made it is like a real filmmaker. Like he's made movies.
No, I mean, like, is it like? Is this
the DVD commentary extended?
Yeah,
or
is this megalopolis?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's not. Okay. But the guy who made the documentary directed the film Leaving Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
So it's a real, like it's a real guy.
So it's a real guy, a real film, but
again, if I haven't seen him, I don't know that he's real.
Good point.
Yeah.
Although AI was a little weaker back then.
It's Hollywood. They've had better technology than us with this for like decades. I saw Jurassic Park.
If anybody's, if the only like I think the only documentary about like the making of a movie that I've ever seen was Hearts of Darkness. The documentary made about the making of Apocalypse Now, which is also Francis Ford Coppola,
right?
And is a fantastic documentary.
Is that the documentary where the story came that Marlon Brando was like swimming out to a canoe eating cheeseburgers?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it's also where it came out that the scene at the beginning of early in the movie where Martin Sheen's character is like having a nervous breakdown in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Was Martin Sheen actually having a breakdown about like being stuck in Vietnam or wherever they were filming it for like a long period of time and being sick with some type of like jungle fever and just having to like, he was like literally having a legitimate breakdown and the cameras were just rolling and they used it.
Jeez.
And I think that's also where it came out that his brother like filmed some scenes and some narration for him while he was recovering from his breakdown. His brother, Joe Estevez, the president from the classic TV show Decker.
The one whose voice isn't on the streetcar.
Correct.
the other
that's
one.
That's his son.
Oh, God. Well, speaking of movies, Chief, how is your 24/7 for 35-day live stream extravaganza going for you?
Still waiting for viewer number 1. It turns out that if you're not already world famous, nobody really wants to watch you go through your day. And right. No one has attacked me when I've been inside a Gold Star, so I feel like that was tremendously disappointing. I ate at 3 Cincinnati chili establishments this week. Not one time did in one day, I should say.
Yes.
At not one time did the hordes of fans of the PostCast attempt to break into I don't know, have a coney with me. I don't know what they were going for.
Nobody played the bagpipes at you.
No one showed up and tried to have a fight for my amusement when I was out and about.
No one drove 2 hours to play the bagpipes for you.
I know, right?
Damn.
I know. What am I living for at this point? Like, what am I doing here? This is very much midlife crisis situation that like I'm shouting into a void. No one's playing bagpipes.
Midlife feels optimistic.
That's accurate. Yeah. Tough but fair. And still, whatever id of life we're in right now, no bagpipes, and that feels like a life unlived.
Yeah. Yeah, the unexamined life is not worth living. The unbagged pipe life is also not worth living.
When I was in grad school, our final exam time always coincided with the I'm not going to say what city, but people could probably figure out what city, with like a national police convention. And it was like every night I'm like up late studying from like midnight to like 2-3 in the morning. And there were a bunch of bars like near my apartment. And the entire night, right around midnight, bagpipes start playing. And they just go on for like 2-3 hours.
See, I've identified your flaw. You go to like a third tier crap state law school and you don't have to study.
I like how we both say
I like how we both say grad school whenever we talk about it. Like it's not well known that both of us went to law school.
Never heard of it.
Never once. So I guess we can start with this story. It's the more funner, I guess, of the two stories that were big around the FC this week.
Yeah.
Can I just, before we dive into it,
I am so ready for this podcast to go so old man yells at clouds. Continue.
Yeah. All right. So like,
let's not.
Okay. I don't understand why. Like, I understand the appeal.
Sure.
Hold on. I understand the appeal of a personality and of someone that you like content for, someone that you like, who produces funny stuff or produces good videos. I don't understand the appeal of just watching 10 hours of unedited just stuff. Like, it feels like the worst combination of the Truman Show and Chris Tucker's character from The Fifth Element.
Sorry, and it's Ed TV.
Ed TV. Well, yeah, because he's in on it on
Ed
TV.
It's more Ed TV.
Yeah. You're right. That's a good call. Because on Truman Show, he didn't know he was being filmed, which is the big difference there. So it's like a combination of like Ed TV and
Elizabeth Hurley is in Ed TV.
Love. Just outstanding. Made the movie Bedazzled, otherwise terrible, but completely worth it. But just
folks,
what do
we love Elizabeth Hurley on this podcast.
We do.
We're not gonna talk trash about Elizabeth Hurley or her weird relationship with her son.
I mean, she's back hot in the streets these days. She's firing out thirst traps like a member of the younger generation right now. I respect it. I respect it for her. I respect it for everything that she stands for. I don't get the 11-hour live stream. I don't understand it. I watched a lot of it for the FC content specifically, and 50,000 people watching iShowSpeed as he visited the FC. You know, I know we had on, who was it, Jake Barford?
Yes.
Who's a streamer. I'm glad they're making money, get your bag, but I do not get iShowSpeed. Not for me, is what I'm going to say. Not for me.
Put a pin in the "I'm glad you're getting paid" line, because we're going to use
that's a
later.
Theme of this episode.
The
theme of this episode is I'm glad you're getting paid.
If we were the kind of podcast that would name the episode after a line in the podcast, that would be it.
No, that should be the title of this episode. It's like episode whatever. I'm glad you're getting paid. And we're starting off with iShowSpeed. I'm glad you're getting paid. I don't understand why.
I think.
Yeah.
I mean, one, this is kind of funny coming from a podcast, because the appeal.
I don't understand why we get sponsored either, for that matter. Like, I don't understand why anyone listens to this.
Hold on. Okay. Like, one, we're not getting rich.
We're not iShowSpeed rich.
I don't want to talk.
Had nothing to do with the wealth.
We're not just not iShowSpeed rich. We're like not rich. I don't know what to tell you.
No,
right.
No.
We're not dudes streaming Fortnite to 50 people rich. Like, we're not even that.
No. All I was going to say was the appeal is, in an era of loneliness, the parasocial relationship becomes a lot of people's outlet. I would say with a person like Speed, that goes to an unhealthy level, because he has in some way opened the door to a lot of his life, right? Like, we do an FC Cincinnati podcast, we banter around a little bit, it's whatever, and I genuinely enjoy when people come up and say, hey, I listen to the podcast. That's really fun. I really enjoy it. Please never feel you can't say that.
I actually do too, and I think people might like, I think
where on earth would you get that impression from that Grayson doesn't like people coming up and talking to him? I can't fathom how anyone would be.
It's a weird misconception that people have.
I think people might think otherwise, but I think otherwise. I actually do enjoy when people come up and, you know, introduce themselves, say hi, whatever. I think it's nice. Right. Yes. Like
Grayson likes that more than hanging out with us.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I've said that I do this because, you know, it's like an outlet to talk about the team, and it's nice to, like, you know, go on and just be able to chit chat about the team. And so, you know, if you ever, whatever.
Which you would be shocked by the amount of time we spend not talking about the team on the show.
There's a whole other episode that goes unrecorded right before this.
You know, always feel free to come up and say hi. It's nice.
Yes, I am giving anybody and everybody permission to make this not a parasocial relationship and to make this an honest to God thing. So that is good.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying, Chief, is like, I feel like people are just like watching their friend on their phone for 4 hours. Which
I almost
concerning.
wanted to like invite on a Gen Zer, like as a guest on this episode. Just like, here is your forum. Explain to me why this is popular. Like, because I really do think that there's a massive generation gap on
the
this.
Explanation will make you sad. So I watched the segments where he went to Mercy Health Training Center, and he went to TQL. And I thought, for one, like, my big takeaway was like, Nick Hagland is incredible.
Yeah.
Nick Hagland is such a gracious person. He is such a personable person. He is so good at just like engaging with people, at making people feel comfortable. Like, I thought Nick was like the real star of the video for me.
Yes.
And I loved the exposure that the club was getting. Like, I thought the club came off really well in both of those segments, the MHTC and the TQL segments.
Yeah.
I had a lot of the same questions that Chief has had about, like, why does anybody like watch this? And then I did watch like a little bit of the stuff at the end with like him being with people coming up to like the parking lot, like fans who like realized where he was on a stream and came up, and everybody's like, well, I'm a streamer too, let's collaborate. And there was the guy who worked at Kings Island who was like, oh, you should rent Kings Island. And Speed was like, oh yeah, it'd be great if you could just like get us Kings Island rented out like this afternoon. And the guy was like, I might have to get back to you on that.
It's like some poor ride operator.
Yeah, and look, I did rides, I did admissions at Kings Island. Like, I never like promised I could like give somebody the
whole park.
But you know, it was
like, I got a gold pass, man. You can use that.
The whole segment in the parking lot, and like the two guys like fighting for his amusement or whatever. That part made me feel real sad.
Yeah. The other takeaway I had, number one, I agree with you on Nick Hagland. I thought Nick Hagland was a star. It convinced me that Nick Hagland has a life after playing, doing something.
I hope so. He's got kids.
Well, I know, right? Yeah, no. Like, he's got a life after playing.
He hasn't made that much from playing.
Right. We keep putting him on the supplemental roster.
You know, it's all the coffee you can drink. I'm sure he's doing all right.
It's a good point. It's a good point.
There's a pension of some sort, like $20 a month or something like that.
He taught people how to make espresso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a future for him doing content of some sort, or doing something in media or in broadcasting, or doing something for the team in that regard. Because he's genuinely funny. And I've thought that from the videos he's posted that are just his own personal videos. But even in that moment, which it was kind of an awkward type of moment that they were doing there, because one of the sort of like big surprises I had is that for a guy that has 47 million followers on YouTube and was getting 50,000 people watching him live, he's not very interesting. Like, he's not, he's not curious. I'm talking about Speed. Like, he's not curious about anyone he's meeting. Like, he'll dap everyone up and then it's immediately on to like, what's the next thing I can focus on? Can I take some shots on the field? Can I do this training drill? Can I sit on the training table? Can I do this? Like, can I sign this contract? Like, he was profoundly uninterested in any of the players that were there. And I get it. Like, he's a Ronaldo dude, right? Like, that's like his whole claim to fame. So it's like, he's not into anyone that's there. He was barely giving anyone the time of day. I would argue he was rude to a large number of the FC Cincinnati players, not the least of which was Evander, who he's like refuses to learn how to pronounce the guy's name. Evander was like being polite, saying like, oh, like the boxer, like Evander Holyfield. No idea who he was talking about with that. I would be shocked if Speed doesn't think his actual name is Evander Holyfield. And then at the end, when Nick and somebody else, I forget who it was trying to show him about the recycled cleat project that DeAndre Yedlin is an investor in. And this is like
maybe some other players, but it's
a couple other players.
But I don't know who specifically, but definitely Yedlin is an investor in there.
And it was mentioned in the in Yedlin's goodbye post. There were a couple players
and
that were mentioning
players, Sem de Jong.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they were like showing him this thing. And it's like, yeah, this is a cool project. Like, you're into soccer. This is about sustainability. And like, to me, you're like, oh, that's really cool. Can I take those? You do something gracious. He was like, yeah, I'm on. Move out. I got to spill this coffee right here.
Right.
I thought that given all that, I thought Nick Hagglund did a great job of just sort of like filling the awkward silence that this guy otherwise left, because he was kind of bored doing this thing. It was very clear he was just there for content and just there to like get a couple shots in and fill time on his stream. I'm not going to complain about it because it's great for the FC, given how big this guy's reach is and how international this guy's reach is. But I walked away from that thinking Nick Hagglund's a really cool dude. All the players that were in the background, like Obi, like putting the phone up so that his nephew could see Speed, because obviously like the kids love this guy.
Yeah, right.
Evander.
No, Obi, so his son could see Speed.
Oh, was it his son? I thought it was his nephew.
His son. It was his son, yeah.
Son.
And
but like,
Ayoub Jabari seemed like
very into it.
He was like he was like very like involved, and like he was like getting himself like really tight into all the videos.
Well, which is enormous. It's hard to miss him.
Well, yeah, but also it does seem like this guy Speed has like a massive like international reach, right? Yeah. So Jabari, as you know, like a 24-year-old foreign guy, probably is very familiar with this guy.
Yeah. So
crazy.
It's
just crazy.
Great for the team. It's always fun, like when you walk around in the background and it's like, oh, there's this staffer that I know. There's this staffer that I recognize, all desperately trying to stay out of camera frame, which was very funny.
It was funny seeing who just kept popping up in shots and who was like desperately running from side to side.
Like saw Horlander just trying to get out of the frame whenever possible, like desperately avoiding the camera.
So I'm one, disappointed that he and Miles didn't race. And two,
what if Miles lost?
Whatever, I don't care. And two, I think it's very funny that he ran into Alvis Powell apparently at Kenwood Mall.
Yes.
And they had like a very brief interaction that this guy Speed, as far as I could tell, heard 0 words of.
Yeah, he was on to the next thing. It was like, oh, yeah, cool. It's another fan right here. And Alvis was like, I was waiting for you at training all day. Where were you?
Right. Yeah. Right. I was just trying to like make a joke about being a player.
Training, and it didn't land in any respect. And I have it on good authority that this was like a completely random interaction. That Alvis happened to be at Kenwood Mall at the same time that this guy happened to be at Kenwood Mall. Like this was not a planned interaction.
As soon as I heard that it happened, I assumed it was planned. I assumed this was a plant that they were trying to like slow drip FCC throughout the day
I mean,
or whatever.
That would have been really funny. Just like at every place he stops, it's like, well, what are you doing here, Matt Miazga?
Whoa.
That was my assumption too.
Yeah.
But I have been told, and I'm pretty confident that was not the case.
I mean, the interaction, if it was an attempt at like guerrilla marketing, failed spectacularly.
Yeah.
So
did anyone watch all 10 hours of the video?
Are you kidding
I hope
not.
Like, what happens when he has to like take a shit or something like that? Like, what happens to the stream?
I assume it just sort of like points at one of the other utterly uninteresting characters in the entourage. Just
like,
sort
can
of
you see the
there
live
so
viewers
many
like
people
just dropping off a
that
cliff?
are just around him, and I don't know what they do.
They have no charisma. They bring nothing. They're not like, if you were going to plan it out, you'd have like
this is very much old man. This is very much old man yells at cloud.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But I do agree with everything. I do agree with everything Kevin has said. I do agree with everything Chief has said.
Like you would plan it so like some of these guys have a personality, but I guess my working theory is you don't want any of those guys to get more popular than you. So
obviously
you got to be surrounded by just the most boring people possible.
No, but like, wouldn't you want them to get more Wouldn't you want them to get more popular than you? Because then you can sign them to deals where you monetize their content, and eventually you don't need to put content out anymore. You can just have a bunch of people that you're just making 20% off what they're doing.
The pyramid scheme of streaming.
Yeah, why not?
I mean,
I think so. Like Barstool is big enough where they have a mix of like stars and zeros.
But the zeros, they hire zeros specifically because they are good on, like, there's zeros on camera where it's like the production crew of like Pardon My Take. None of these people would ever be able to host a show on their own, but they're all such cartoon characters that in like the 5 minutes you need them to fill time, they're just utterly absurd people. And that's like not what this guy's doing. Like, he's not even getting people on there where it's like, oh yeah, I would like to see Brad the cameraman talk for 5 minutes. Like, whenever this guy's on camera, it's a charisma vacuum.
Right. Oh,
yeah, I was this is not dissimilar to my last night in France. There was a free, it was in Marseille, and there was like a free rap show in like the little square near my hotel.
Nice.
I thought the group was quite good. I looked them up later. They're apparently like a long time, like been active for like 20 years or so. Like they're a long time, like Marseille based French rap group. I thought they were quite good.
Okay.
But there was like 3 guys who were like actively involved, and there were 3 other guys who didn't even have microphones and were just like kind of hanging out behind them on stage. I mean, I was like, those guys seem to have it made.
Yes.
Yeah. Like they don't do anything.
Like when I was growing up there. Yeah, when I was growing up, my life goal was to be like the dancer in a suit for the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones that didn't play any music and didn't have to sing. It's like, I can do that. I can act like a fool in like a 3-piece suit. This is easy.
Like live rap shows are notorious for having, like the rapper, 2 guys, and 40 other dudes on stage with varying degrees of involvement.
It must feel so good to be one of the other dudes.
Yes.
Or do you think that they're all standing up there really awkwardly, like, I don't know what to do with my hands right now?
Right.
No, they always know.
What's going on.
Nobody knows who I am. Everybody assumes I'm with somebody else.
It's like, God, is there a stain on my oversized white shirt? That would be so embarrassing.
But yeah, I had a great time at the show. I thought it was great.
Kevin, how long do you think you could keep a live stream going for?
This is a good question.
Just plug your phone in and let it roll.
Yeah, right. How interesting does it have to be? I could go for days.
I mean, you just got to be on camera. This would be a great fantasy football punishment of some sort. It's like you have to live stream
24 hours.
24 hours.
Yeah, that would be really funny.
And you have to respond. You have to be responsive to the chat at all times. You have to be like, chat, how are we feeling? All right, I got to get a shout out to PostFan 69 in the chat. Love you. Thanks for the super chat. Smash that like and subscribe button.
The sort of problem with that, not necessarily a problem, but you would need like the fantasy league to all take like guard shifts to like tune in for 2 hours each or whatever.
Make sure that you're doing it.
Yes.
Well, no, because it's all recorded.
But somebody's got to go back and watch it, right?
Yeah. If there's a question as to whether or not you actually did the live stream, you can go back and watch it. If you don't do it the right way, you got to do it again.
I see.
I'd love to see Grayson do a live stream. I think that'd be tremendous. Be the best way. Like, he doesn't do anything on camera, except he will do just a full week-long live stream of himself skiing. Chat, we're back on the mountain, chat. Powder's looking great.
Just a live stream from a GoPro attached to Grayson's helmet would be genuinely entertaining.
But like, it never shows his face. It's just like what
right. It's just it's a POV.
I would do a stream skiing because when you wear goggles and a helmet and stuff, it's fine.
Yeah. And a selfie stick. That would be you. You might get kicked out of a handful of places you ski.
Now, you know what?
People definitely use GoPros basically anywhere you ski.
Okay. Yeah, we were in Park City. It's not that classy. Like that Irish bar we were in, like that's a place where like they would never kick you out with a selfie stick. Like
they would be the first kick us out with a selfie stick.
They did not. No. Stick microphones. All right. Well, I guess we're in no danger of ever being invited anywhere to sign a 1-day contract and do content. But
FC Cincinnati has to sign a contract to stop covering the team.
To stop doing the podcast.
Look, man, there's a number for everything. if you're gonna give like a speed, by the way, there's a moment when Nick Hagglund takes Speed to the locker room in TQL Stadium.
Yeah.
And he sits there, and he being Speed, he sits there and he's like crying about like having signed a contract with his hometown team. And it really feels like he genuinely believes that he's part of the team. And I don't think he's a wingback. I don't think he's a strong enough actor to like pull that off. And this also happened when he was at Mercy Health, because he keeps saying like, "This isn't a troll. This isn't a troll. I'm really on the team." I'm like, I think he thinks he's on the team.
Maybe for 24 hours.
And maybe it's fine. Like let him think he's on the team.
I mean, we've got the homegrown watcher
It's good
spot,
for
right?
his publicity. But
oh my God, Grayson, is he going to be in the MLSPA salary dump in the fall?
It would be hilarious to find out he's making more money than Dotto.
Yeah. He's on the senior roster.
I mean, he could be a supplemental roster guy. I think we got a spot open.
Right, because they're not paying him his like streaming stuff. They're not paying him to do his.
But think about this:
we can sign until Friday. So yeah,
if you sign him, then you can sell him to some other club like overseas that really wants the PR thing from having iShowSpeed on the roster. Then he gets to go there and do content. But if they pay us like $3 million next year, boom, there's our GAM conversion. We sell iShowSpeed for $3 million.
Oh my
MLS gets this whole news cycle of people being like, really? iShowSpeed, $3 million? This is absurd. This is money laundering.
That would be really funny if Birding actually had him sign like a real contract.
Now we get a cut of all this.
If it wasn't just like a ceremonial, like Speed signs this like fake little document that pretends like he's signing a contract. It's like a genuine contract that like gives us the rights to like transfer him to like any team around the world.
We could trade him. We could trade
Carl
him within the
Lindner
league.
like a percentage of his streaming rights in exchange for like $80,000 on the supplemental roster.
A cash for he can't say no to a cash
homegrown.
Yeah. He's a homegrown free agent signed to the supplemental roster. We sell him to Seattle for $3 million cash for. He can't say no. legally his
that.
rights
That's
moved.
true. He's a Seattle Sounder now.
Yeah, now he's off to Seattle.
Send him to Real
I show
Salt
Jordan
Lake.
Morris.
Can we trade Speed for a player?
I show Christian Roldan. You like Cristiano Ronaldo? Meet Christian Roldan.
Almost the same player.
You know how we'll know. You know how we'll know this
Same
is true.
letters, basically.
You know how we'll know this is true
Mm.
is if Yuya Kubo shows up at the game on Saturday wearing a different number.
Oh my God.
Because they just gave
They
Speed
gave him number 7.
So like if Kubo shows up wearing 77 on Saturday, it's because they gave his number out and that was a legit contract.
Oh my God, please, 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 please. As a prank, I am begging FCC that the number 77 training top for you, Yakubo, on Oktoberfest night or whatever we're celebrating.
Por favor.
Oh, please. All right. Should we get
Move
into
over
the
to part
discourse?
2?
Should we do a part 2 with this? Let's do
Yeah,
part
because
2.
I have to pee.
Let's do a part 2 then. We'll talk Miles Robinson in part 2. And we are back. Part 2, where we get to dive into the topic that has dominated the FC Cincinnati fan space since the news came out.
How did Samuel Guidi do in the U21 Slovakia national team against Andorra? He did great. They won 3-0. He played 90 minutes. What a guy.
Love it. Wow. Positive,
Amazing.
super positive segment too.
It's so good. No, actually, it is funny. We didn't mention this. He just straight up skipped the second game to come back. So I appreciate that. I assume he got permission with the coaches. It's very common for guys to leave halfway through an international window, especially when they just join new teams. I appreciate him doing it and the team letting him do that. That is very helpful, very beneficial. Also, it looks like everybody is back. Okay, so with that, we had this tweet yesterday, 6 p.m. from Tom Bogert. Contract details from Miles Robinson's extension with FC Cincinnati, which I should say he had reported on about a month prior, and nothing came out since then. Like it took the club quite a while to make it official on their end. But Tom had reported the extension being done, but we didn't know any of the numbers. We just thought, hey, good. Well done. We signed him up for another couple of years. These are the details. Robinson will be a designated player when the deal starts in 2026. Folks, that's next year. And cannot
there's no way. 2026 is next year.
The World
future.
Cup year.
No,
It's a sci-fi year.
no.
Yeah.
It's
If you
a
would
shame.
add
We
like
just did Y2K like last year.
Yeah. If you would have added something 2026 to a movie title back in the 90s, like that would have seemed like we had flying cars.
I think
by now.
Blade Runner takes place in 2026.
Right. But the important note here, well, he's a designated player. He cannot be bought down during the contract. So not even just like a DP for 1 year or something.
I feel compelled to point out,
Please.
he cannot be bought down under current roster rules.
Oh, that's a very
Is
interesting
that
note.
what Tom Bogert said?
That is not what Tom
Is that
Bogert
what
said.
you're adding?
That is what Chief
that's-
is adding.
That's what I'm adding because everything that is reported under the current roster rules.
Yes.
And there is, it is not like would ever be written into a contract in MLS.
He cannot
You
ever be
cannot
bought
buy
down.
this. You can never buy this player down.
Correct. Yeah, but like, come on.
Yeah, right.
We'll talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's stick
Let
to
me
let's stick to the reporting,
Let me
and then we
finish
can
the
do
report
like
here.
we can do like white hat
Yes.
speculation,
Okay.
QAnon stuff later.
It's not actually Miles Robinson. Okay. Robinson will be the highest paid center back in MLS, eclipsing Zimmerman's $3.47 million deal.
I guess unless Walker Zimmerman gets a pay raise in the offseason.
Yeah.
Again, at time of reporting, he will be eclipsing.
Well, maybe you shouldn't speculate, Tom Bogert. You don't know how much Thiago Martins is going to get paid next year.
I mean, I guess the payment doesn't kick in till next year. So yes, there's a couple more months for these guys to beat Miles Robinson.
Yeah, at one time, Kevin Denke was the record-setting transfer for MLS until he wasn't. Like a month later.
But you didn't report it as Denke is going to be the highest. Is going to be the record transfer in 2026.
Going to be, yeah. So that is the reporting that comes out. The club makes it official the next day. We got some lovely stories.
The club doesn't report any numbers.
Yeah, the club, as is tradition, the club made the signing official finally. The club did not report.
True.
The club never reports. I won't say never. It rarely reports what a player's salary designation is or how much they're making. It's the standard operating procedure under Chris Albright, at the very least, has been we release term of years for the contract. We don't really talk anything else beyond that.
I was a little surprised the club didn't include that he would be a designated player.
Did they not?
They did not. So I don't know. I would say stay woke on that. I'm not gonna. I think our discussion does need to assume he's going to be the third designated player of 3.
Yes, I just think it's interesting to note.
But I think it's interesting the clubs didn't report any particular kind of roster designation for him in 2026, the domestic World Cup year.
Yes. So
now I will note.
Oh, please note.
I will note. Looking back, Thursday, November 21st, 2024, FC Cincinnati have acquired Togolese international forward Kevin Denke from Cercle Bruges of the Belgian Pro League via transfer. The club announced today. Denke will officially join the club as a designated player when the transfer window opens.
So they have done it.
Did they do it with Evander?
I didn't Google Evander. I Googled Kevin Denke.
Evander was signed later and would give us the 2025 verbiage.
They did say he joins FC Cincinnati. It's in the headline.
Whoa.
FC Cincinnati acquired Brazilian attacking midfielder Evander or Endeavor, depending on who you're talking to, as designated playander.
Playander,
nice. Now,
designander plander.
Playander.
He has a collection of pet salamanders.
That's a Speed reference. I'm sorry, people don't get it. He kept calling him Endeavor.
Yes. If somehow you dodged that, good on you. There's a couple of things. I don't want to dive in on the language there first. Chief,
I do want to dive in the language first. Well, if the language is funny to me.
So the language is funny, but let me ask this. Are they intentionally dodging the designated player designation in the press release to avoid potential negative reactions to the news? Let me ask that question.
Well, then why did Chris Albright feed it to Tom Bogert? I'm sorry. Why did some anonymous person feed the contract details to Tom Bogert?
Bogart's for the sickos. The team's press release is for not sickos.
It's for Facebook.
Yeah.
But also, like, the normies don't know, like, what any of this means.
That's
like,
fair.
They're like, oh, it's Miles. We love Miles. Good for him.
And we do love Miles.
We do love Miles, but the normies extra love Miles.
So the We Love Miles is probably a good place to start. Miles Robinson has been very good for this team. Miles Robinson has played quite a bit for this team. And when he plays, the team looks pretty good. Very good, even. Amazing at times. Miles Robinson is generally considered one of the better center backs in Major League Soccer. He has been in and out of the U.S. men's national team to varying degrees. He's been a bench guy. He has been a starter from time to time. He does appear to be heading out, although it's kind of unclear exactly what Pochettino is doing with
It's unclear who's, other than like a handful of guys, it's unclear in the year of our Lord, 2025, September I'll say 10 because I don't want to say the other number.
Yes. Also, that is today.
It's unclear, other than like a handful of guys, who is genuinely in the U.S. men's national team, right?
So I don't like the folks saying like he's out of the national team picture. I don't think that's fair until he is genuinely out, right? Okay. So he has been a very good player. We like him. We like his play. For me, he's been our best center back this year. I think Miazga has lost a step. Surely Miazga brings some intangibles to the team. Don't get me wrong, but I think play on the field, I'd go Miles as our best. So I don't think anybody on this podcast, and please chime in if you disagree, thinks that Miles Robinson should not make a lot of money playing soccer for this team. I'll just phrase it that way.
Remember the theme of the episode?
Happy you got paid.
Happy he got paid.
Yeah.
Miles, by all accounts, seems like a good dude. He seems like a really good teammate. His performance on the field has been very good.
Yeah.
In the abstract, I do not have a problem, and I am happy for Miles Robinson, the human being able to fully monetize the value of his performance and monetize the value of the time he has spent dedicating himself to his craft, and to be compensated. We're a pro player podcast. We're pro players getting what they're worth. I am never going to be upset.
Pro labor, baby.
Of one of our players, a player that's been very good for us and who made a choice to come to Cincinnati. And I'm not going to be mad about a player who made a choice to come to Cincinnati, getting paid and getting financially rewarded for making that choice.
And
I'll go a step further.
He took less money to come to Cincinnati at that time. Atlanta,
less than Atlanta offered per reporting.
Yeah.
I think it was a lot more than he was offered from any European team, but I think it was less than what Atlanta offered.
Yes.
And then I'll go a step further. I think Chief would probably agree with this too. I'm not trying to like disagree. I think everybody would agree with this. I don't want to see Miles Robinson on another MLS team.
Yes.
Like I'm glad he's on our team and not on another team.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Miles Robinson has been great for this team. Miles has, I mean, the analytics love Miles Robinson. The players love Miles Robinson. It was Lucas Engel said he's the best defender he's ever played with, which pretty high praise.
Which was in Carter Chapley's story that was posted on FCCincinnati.com. Go read it. It's very, very good.
It's very good. So I just want to make sure we got all of that out of the way before the following discussion happens.
Right.
Where this becomes, I'll say, contentious, if not straight up controversial, is his designation as a designated player. There's a couple of reasons why this is important. One, this team and the roster build is currently on the 2 designated player roster build, which allows for 4 U22s versus 3, which is fine. And they are using all 4 of them right now. Mm-hmm. But also,
but one of them is on loan.
One's on loan.
One's on loan.
It'd be the easiest one to cut if you're looking at that. But maybe the bigger thing is that the team then also gets $2 million in extra GAM, which maybe the easiest way to think about this is just $2 million extra to spend with regards to the salary cap. Salary cap is pretty small. It's like $5.5, maybe $6 million next year. $2 million is a huge percentage upgrade for that. And this team has accumulated an insane number of players making over the maximum salary, which are necessarily the players that you need to be using GAM, whatever, to bring in and to afford those salary wages. Okay. So by making Miles Robinson a designated player, we know we have Denke under contract. We know we have Evander under contract for next year, which means the team will have to move to 3 designated players unless one of them moves on. And given that we just signed Miles Robinson, I'm going to assume not him. So it'd probably be Evander and Denke if you are looking at them moving back. I don't think they will. And I think anybody thinking one of those 2 guys leaving next year is likely is wrong. You can have that opinion. I just think you're wrong. The other thing is you only get 3. And Chief, I will hand this over to you in a moment.
And I do want to say that I think for the purposes of the discussion,
please,
we do have to assume, or we should assume, that the 3 designated player, 3 U22 roster limitation is sticking around next year.
Yeah, we have to.
We've also heard nothing that suggests there's not even been a whisper that it's about to change.
Because so you could imagine that there's all types of roster rule changes coming. And I think it's if you open up your mind to like whatever roster rule changes you can possibly imagine, it's hard to have like it's hard to have any kind of like interesting discussion on that, because you're like, yeah, but what if the rule next year is that Americans don't connect the salary budget? All right,
this is what happens when a
Roma
novel
Celentano makes $10 million now.
Yeah,
this is Deus Ex Soccer Machina is what this is.
It's what happens.
We're not interested.
When a novel doesn't fully explain its magic system,
right?
Everything's fair game. It doesn't matter. So yes, well, we will, for the purposes of this conversation right now, until we hear otherwise, assume that everything will be the same next year, with the very slight exception that salary cap and maximum wage numbers
go up a little bit
incrementally. That's been outlined in the CBA.
It's already in the CBA. Yeah. We know basically what those numbers look like.
And again, we're only talking about a little bit on the fringes. So if you just want to assume for the purpose of this conversation it's identical, so be it. That'll get you close enough. Okay. So Chief.
Yes.
How do we feel about using one of the 3 designated player designations on a center back? There's other versions of this, and I want to ask Grayson another version of that. How do we feel about it on a center back right now? Take Miles away from this for a moment.
All right, take Miles away from it. All right. This is such a staggeringly stupid move that we just mentioned. We're not assuming the rules are changing for the course of this debate.
Right.
It is such a zig when other people zag move that it almost requires that you believe Chris Albright has some other type of knowledge about rule changes coming up to explain why he would do something so profoundly what I would consider to be stupid. Look, I think Albright's done a great job since he's been here. This is not a fire Chris Albright. This is not this should cost him his job. Maybe if you would ask me this yesterday, it might have been, but like with the benefit of like sitting for 24 hours.
I think at a minimum, you got to see what it looks like after a season, but yes.
So I have on a big picture level, the meta, if you want, of how to build an MLS roster is pretty set. And most, if not all, teams in MLS, I think other than one other team, Nashville, with Walker Zimmerman, every other team has come to the conclusion that it is not worth paying center backs designated player money. And the reason for that is that if you only have 3 designated player spots, there are more impactful places on the field that you have to use that talent and that upgrade on. And that's generally people who score goals or people who facilitate goal scoring. I said it in the Discord. You can't win a match -1-0. At the end of the day, goal scoring is required to win a match. And given that, most teams, if not all teams, on any given year, choose to allocate their designated player spots to attacking players, or at the very least midfield players who facilitate the attack. It is such a counterintuitive way to build a team. Yeah. Because for the almost entirety of MLS, the idea is that you spend heavily up top to score, and you use your max TAM players, your homegrown players, and your other salary spots to defend. Because defenders just aren't impactful enough in a game to justify the spot. If you are in a game and you are tied 0-0 or you're down chasing a goal, a center back does not help you. Simply does not help you. A center back is not going to be able to make a play that wins you the game. They may be able to make a play that stops you from going down further, but at the end of the day, someone else is going to have the ball at their feet to go win you the game.
Or if they do, they'll be phantomly and frankly ridiculously and irrationally called for a foul in the moment, and the goal will be taken away.
Yeah, I don't even think it's legal for center backs to play on set pieces. That the minute they jump, they're bigger than someone and it hurts someone's feelings.
That is true.
So in MLS, they have an entire history of designated players. The number of designated players that are center backs, you can basically count on about two hands. It doesn't happen. There's one currently, it's Walker Zimmerman.
NYCFC just got rid of one. There was one earlier this year in MLS.
In the history of this league, there have been three players who have played on MLS Cup teams as designated player center backs that have won MLS Cup. It happened in 2019 for the Seattle Sounders. Javier Orrega was a center back on that team. It happened in Portland in 2015. Liam Ridgewell was a designated player center back. LA Galaxy in 2014, Omar Gonzalez. That's it.
Dang.
It is.
I'd also be curious what Omar Gonzalez's salary was in 2014. Because I know there was a period of time. I didn't do this research for this show. I probably should have. But like, obviously MLS did like over the course of the years, like change the number of DPs that teams could have. Right.
Yeah.
And so what I wonder is with like somebody like Gonzalez did MLS change the number and Galaxy just like tagged him with the designation?
Yeah.
But he was like not on like $2 or $3 million.
No, he wasn't. So from what I remember, the LA Galaxy signing Omar Gonzalez is why we even have the concept of the max TAM player, that you can go up to $1 million in allocation money over the maximum salary.
Looks like he was on $1.1 million in 2014.
So yeah.
He would be a TAM player today.
A TAM player now.
Yeah, 1.1, he's middle of the road for good center backs these days.
He's on Teenage Hadebi. He was on Teenage Hadebi money.
Oh, so a backup on a pretty good team. Got it.
It's worth noting, Teenage Hadebi is one of the rare, was a designated player center back when he played for Houston. How'd that work out for Houston? I'll let you look that up as to what their record was when Teenage Hadebi was there.
Not ideal. Now,
my overall point is these spots are too valuable to use on a center back. And there was somebody that was on, I was reading the MLS Reddit, somebody was making a point on there that it's almost to the point where MLS needs to do something that allows teams in the league to spend money on center backs because the league just doesn't value them. It's like running backs in the NFL. They're coming back into vogue, but for a while it was like nobody's using a first round pick on these guys because they're disposable and they're not a good value proposition for your first round draft pick. And the opportunity cost is what's the huge deal here, is that by doing this with Miles Robinson, what you are basically saying is that you're giving back $2 million in GAM. Now, you also get to pull off the $1 million in GAM that you're using to buy down Miles Robinson.
Right.
So the end trade ends up being about you're down $1 million in GAM.
Yep. 1.1 according to my math.
Sure. You know that's Matt Miazga right there. Like buy Matt Miazga. Because
it's actually
it would be
more than Matt Miazga. Yeah.
Because that's you're getting rid of another max TAM player by making this conversion. And the other big issue I have with it is that it would be one thing if this team was scoring 4 goals a game.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Like the help needs to be like, we know where the problem is on this team. It's the midfield. The midfield is the problem. If they're going to add another DP, the other DP needs to be a midfielder, someone that can pass, or a wing back, someone that can pass and facilitate goal scoring. And for no other reason as well, this team with Miles Robinson isn't good enough to win MLS Cup.
Hold on. I agree, but we're talking specifically about like DPs on center backs.
Okay, fine. Then that's my spiel on DPs on center backs.
So now let me ask you, Grayson, about this aspect of the deal. This does become Miles Robinson specific, although you can imagine this conversation being Miles Robinson agnostic. How do we feel about promoting a previously not designated player on the team currently to a designated player? I will especially add, and I'll tee you up, when it's not clear that any other MLS team could have necessarily made him a designated player should he have hit the open market.
That's a good question. Because
great job, Kevin.
I nailed it. I'm making Grayson do research while he stalls for time.
No. It's a good question because I know I had it up a moment ago, but I don't have it up right now.
Okay.
There are pretty strict limitations in the MLS CBA to like what a player can get in free agency from a team other than their current team.
Yeah.
Okay. And for a player who is not already a DP, basically, somebody whose free agency salary budget charge is up to max TAM, which I think is where Miles is.
Miles is actually using MLSPA's numbers a little bit under the maximum. I don't know how they define this,
but it's like between like $500,000 a month.
Okay,
above the maximum salary budget charge to max TAM is the window we're talking about.
He is $3,000 into that threshold. Yes.
So if he's under max TAM, then the maximum salary he can get from a team other than FC Cincinnati is like a 15% raise.
Okay. That's if he is a max TAM player?
Yes.
Okay.
Up to max TAM. If his free agency salary budget charge is above max TAM, then FC Cincinnati can offer him a salary negotiated between him and MLS.
Okay.
And another MLS team can offer him up to 10% less than that.
Okay. So they're capped at less than us regardless.
Yeah. So it's not this is a little bit of a misdirection, I think, because like I don't think any other MLS team could have paid him as much as we're paying him, but other MLS teams could have made him like a true designated player. So
and then could have
it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Right,
like
right.
Once somebody becomes a true DP, it doesn't matter what you're paying.
Yeah.
Right.
Just so you have the actual numbers, he would be within about $70,000 of that genuine tippy top maximum cap for next year if you paid him 15% more than he's making this year. It would be 1.728 and the maximum is 1.803 if you really want to dive into the actual specifics here.
Okay. But like I don't really want to get into like what other MLS teams could have paid him.
Right.
Because other MLS teams could have made him a true DP and then it doesn't matter.
All right.
Like again, like you might as well pay him like $10-20 million.
Right.
You know, like if it's 1.9 or 3.5, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because he's taking up the DP slot. So the real question, unless you like really care about owner money, the only question is he worth the DP slot or not?
Right.
And I do want to get back to Kevin's specific question because I think it's a good one. Because again, this is not a Miles specific question. It's how do I feel about taking a player on the current roster and elevating them from a non-DP to a DP status. And
here, if you want to fixate on not Miles Robinson, the last time we got close to something like this were people floating the idea of Yerson Mosquera as a DP.
Yeah, or like Luca Orishano.
Right. I'm thinking specifically of center back, but yeah, Luca Orishano. You could have maybe made the argument about Barriel at one point. Yes.
I think it's different because with those guys, we were still on like that 3DP model. There wasn't the choice between the 2DP or the 3DP model, so you weren't giving up the extra GAM and the U22 slot.
The 2 million GAM
to
is
make the
so
person
valuable. Yeah.
A DP. And so I don't want to talk about those things. I just want to talk about like just taking anybody from the current roster, be it like Pavel Buka,
right,
or Brenner or anybody.
Dotto,
like,
obviously.
Yeah, Dotto, obviously.
Clearly.
Brian Anunga and making them
there's the glow
DP.
Up.
And like, honestly, like in a vacuum, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the team how it is, and it doesn't seem to be good enough. And then you're telling me that like we can spend more for less of this team?
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah.
I don't love that. Like I'm not sold on that as a concept. And again, this is not me talking about Miles specifically.
Right.
This is me talking about, you're telling me that we're going to take under current roster rules, taking somebody on this roster who's not currently a DP and make them a DP. Right?
Yeah.
Don't love it.
Yeah.
Because the team right now is not good enough.
You're not using one of your premium roster spots to get better. The whole point of these roster spots is to get better. They're avenues and vehicles for the team to get better. The team is not better with Miles Robinson as a designated player. It's fundamentally the same.
We're not talking about Miles Robinson.
It doesn't matter. It could be anybody. It could be literally
Pavel
anybody.
Buka.
Yeah. You make Pavel Buka a designated player. The team is still the same player.
Yeah.
The team is still the same team. In fact, the team is worse because now you have to shed $1 million in salary.
You've lost some roster flexibility.
And not only that too, but like, I understand it's unknowable what the 2026 roster is going to look like. You don't know what we're going to do. You don't know what players are available. But like, number one, I don't know where, they think they're going to get another GAM infusion from selling a player. Maybe Barrial, but I don't think he's got that much value on the open market right now. Maybe.
Aww.
I don't know. But either way, I heard in the discourse too, this idea of, well, you can get rid of $1 million just by getting rid of players that aren't performing. Like, your Sergio Santos is great. But the problem is I want to get rid of them and replace them with, I want to replace those players with players that you can look down the bench and say, oh, here's another player that can offer you something different when it's not working on any given night. And
now you're shed those players and
give the money to Miles.
With nobody and give the money to players already on the roster, then the roster that's, I'm sorry,
struggling at the moment,
not good enough.
Right. Chief, I'm reminded too of this point of like, sure, you've elevated a player on your own team, but you've made the point in the past that like no player in MLS is worth being a DP just necessarily. You should be going out and upgrading from without the league. So once you've already accepted,
I think I should be like applauded for not even getting into the point that we're making an American a designated player, which I am like vehemently opposed to. Well, like at a moral level.
And this is the part that kind of it crawls at me, and I can rationalize so much of this move, and I'm happy to make those various arguments. But what will always get me is the ontological player, which is once you've opened the door to a designated player center back, you have an unlimited budget on whatever center back you want, essentially in the world that you can agree to have come here. Surely there is a better one. I'm not even talking about Miles.
So
there's always a better one out there.
Let's open the door to the Miles specific discussion, because I do think that this is an important point, that like FC Cincinnati being a welcoming destination for US players who want a place where they can be comfortable, but they're on a competitive team and they have a good situation. That's a very good selling point, I think, to fans.
Yeah.
For like,
sure. How long are they going to be competitive for? Okay.
For TAM level players, for Matt Miazga, for DeAndre Yedlin, for, guys like that, where a lot of teams are giving them similar money, and we're making a difference on, let's say, intangibles, right? Or like non-salary.
We can make you a better player. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that. It's a little different when you're saying we're going to use a DP slot on Miles Robinson, because we've spent $16 million for Kevin Dinke, spent $12 million for Evander. There's a center back you could get for a $10 million transfer fee who's better than Miles Robinson.
Probably starting for a top 10 national team.
Yeah. So you could spend what we spend on DPs for a better center back. Yeah, we already have this guy in the team and he likes it here and stuff, but like, also we've seen the team with him.
Right.
We've seen the team without him when he's been on the roster, and they've done fine. Without him
top of the table.
Without him in the starting line. Like I looked at the I did like some manual math of like games, and I may not be like 100% right on this because I only did the math one time and then whatever, but our record
at home,
our record in MLS league play is like 10 wins, 5 losses, and 2 draws with a +7 goal differential. Without Miles Robinson playing in the game at all. It doesn't seem like he is all that integral to what we do for us to like cripple the roster build.
Yeah.
To make him the highest paid center back in MLS and lose out on the GAM bonus, which, by the way, Chris Albright has said that we like to have a lot of these TAM players, and the GAM bonus is very important to us.
Yeah. You better learn to speak supplemental roster, buddy.
Like he has said that in his media availabilities, that we like to focus on these GAM TAM players.
Yeah.
Well, see ya.
Yeah.
Like that's gone.
Yeah.
And then like I know we've this is the first time we've used all the 4 U22s.
Yes.
But like the U22 who I assume is going to be leaving.
It's Mark Zook, I would imagine.
Is Mark Zook. And then it's like, okay, now we get to sign a new right wing back.
With what money?
With what money? Exactly. So and then I know like we've seen in the Discord people assuming this portends a move to a 4 in the back.
Yeah.
And
I was going to bring this
agree.
up.
I would agree that if you're using a DP slot on a center back, maybe it shouldn't be a center back who you feel like you need to have also 2 other center backs to defend. But I'm not going to assume a formation change.
Yeah,
that's assuming the salary.
It's like assuming a salary cap change. Like I'm assuming that the team is going to rock and roll how it has so far, and so all of these things don't support a Miles Robinson designated player designation. And all that said, I do want to say, like, I looked at the center backs around the league, and I couldn't come up with like a good argument that like any center back deserves more money than Miles Robinson. But there are center backs like Tim Ream who are regulars in the national team above Miles Robinson, who are making way less money than he's making before his raise.
Yeah.
And so like Pochettino, if you said like, would you pay Miles Robinson or Tim Ream more? Seems like Pochettino would say Tim Ream.
Hell, he'd pick Walker
that's
Zimmerman.
Right. And I think Zimmerman's overpaid. And then the other question is like, what does this mean for the future of Matt Miazga? And I feel like it means Matt Miazga is going to be playing for New York Red Bull next year.
So why do we assume that?
Because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you are already hamstringing your roster so much by having a designated player center back that the resources that you're losing have to be deployed elsewhere, or you are going to try to win games 1-0. Like, the money has to go somewhere else. Like if you're going to switch to a back four, you're going to need to bring a left back and a right back in. You don't have that on the roster right now. You brought wing backs in with Ender Echenike. You're going to need to find a left back and a right back. At some point,
the left back is maybe Lucas Engel.
He's on loan, and you're going to have to pay to bring him in. Like, with what money?
Yes, you have to pay to bring. You have to pay to bring him in. You have to figure that out. But Lucas Engel, I do think, is I agree with what you said, right? But for me, the best use of Lucas Engel is a left back and a back four.
Right. Sure. You got to find the budget. You got to find the budget.
You do have to account for his budget charge in your budget, which includes whatever transfer fee it takes to bring him in from Middlesbrough.
Yeah. And so I think that it definitely means Matt Miazga's gone. The other player who's gone, and I think that, it's been exciting to have you back, but don't buy, is Brenner. Like, I have no idea, based on the reporting that's been done, that Brenner's option would make him a designated player. Like, if he plays well enough to exercise the option, like, I don't know why he would take a pay cut to come, or why, Udinese would take a pay cut to make him not a designated player. So, don't get too attached to him, because I think he's gone now too as a result of this. And look, I want to be very clear. Like, I think this is a profoundly stupid move, but you can't know this. It's like we're talking about this now. We have no idea what the roster looks like in 2026. We have no idea who's coming, who's going. We have no idea what the roster rules are going to look like. We have no idea of anything. It's all theoretical. Like you said, we're going to be on the 3DP system. For all we know, Evander is going to get transferred out this winter because somebody decides that he's worth a ton of money based on his performance.
But does that make you feel good if we go into next year with like Denke and Miles as the two DPs?
No, in no way does it. No, because I don't think that who is the best center back in the world right now? Whatever name you come up with, it is not worth making that person a designated player in MLS because they don't score goals. Like, your designated player needs to contribute to goal scoring.
And
like,
this team especially. This team especially, because the system is not going to create goals. Right. This team depends on individual talent and individual decision making in the box to score goals. Okay. Right. So we need Evander and Denke or their equivalents to be designated players. Right.
The designated player on the defense is Pat Noonan. That's what that's the whole ball of wax here, is that you can tolerate to a certain extent that they don't have a great offensive game plan and they rely on individual talents to do incredible things to score goals because Pat Noonan will organize the defense and Pat Noonan will have them in good defensive shape. The second Pat Noonan's system needs a designated player at center back to work, what are we doing here? Because that's supposed to be his bread and butter. He should be able, as a defensive-minded head coach, his system should be the DP at the back. And all of the other stuff, all of the other talent should be thrown forward in the hope that that talent can figure out a way to score goals. Because that's the only way this team has scored and been successful, is when the talent up front has been overwhelming.
But we've seen... and then Albright has said, like, Miles is very important to what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
How many goals does Miles have?
Is very important. Hold on.
How many goals does Brenner have? And we're already sad we're losing him.
I agree. But I agree that Miles is very important to what they're trying to do. Okay.
What, win games 0-0 like that?
Yeah. I do want to know the articulation of what they're trying to do, because Miles is already on the team and We've seen the team. We're 30 games into the season. We've seen the team. Okay. So if you're saying Miles is very important to what we're trying to do, Miles has been in the team for 2 years. These are the results over the 2 years. We're elevating Miles to a DP slot. It doesn't feel like what you're trying to do is win trophies.
May I provide the counterbalance now to the move?
Before you provide the counterbalance, please. I want to hear you defend center back as designated player specifically.
No. I want to. There's a little bit more.
I'll include that in my defense.
There's a little bit more that I want to talk about. Okay, because another point I want to make.
Okay,
is I am all on board with a third DP strategy.
Okay.
But it feels like, given how the team plays and where the team struggles, that the third DP should be somebody who plays like a 6 or an 8.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fair.
Like an OB or Pavel, who is like a stud at both defense and ball progression.
It is worth pointing out Obi was a DP and is still on the roster,
but is not,
right?
And isn't, and is not anymore,
and is 3 years older.
So you can upgrade,
right. Okay, so here's the argument. In Major League Soccer, there has become so much of the talent and roster spend across the league on offenses that if you can, in fact, shut down a team's star player with a star defender, you negate that. And if you have a defender like Miles Robinson who can make line-breaking passes and can prevent goals from being scored, you provide a platform for
How many line-breaking passes has he made this year? He hasn't made a single pass this year that's worth a damn.
Let Kevin make his point, because I have like 2 questions.
Okay.
Already teed up.
Sorry.
For after.
Good defenders and a good defense has been the hallmark of FC Cincinnati. And despite what both of you might think, over the last 3 years, FC Cincinnati, on aggregate, has been the best team. They won the Supporter Shield, so please do not hold up the 0.
3 years ago.
I said over the last 3 years, they've been the best team in Major League Soccer. They are still in 3rd place. So the idea that you can't just have a good defense and then let your attackers be good. That is the system. And it has been incredibly successful. Unless the argument is whatever the last MLS Cup winner is, we have to completely and utterly mimic their roster build, then we are going to desperately try to become the LA Galaxy and or the New York Red Bulls, depending on which one you want to copy. I'm okay sticking with what we have. Miles Robinson has been an incredibly good center back, and there is nothing about this deal that makes me think that we cannot also have at least another Max Tam center back with him. I'm going to rattle off some names that either never played or we never wanted to see play for this team. Sergio Santos, Teenage Hidabi, Yuya Kubo, Corey Baird. I'll throw in DeAndre Yedlin because he's no longer on the team. That totals $4.1 million in salary spent. We are giving up $1 million in making this move. You are gaining $3 million. You're gaining $3 million in salary offset to make the improvement here. And
cool. You've accounted for the budget loss of both the 2 DP model and selling Lucho Acosta. The problem is we're fresh out of Lucho Acosta's to sell.
Already using $1.5 million of the $2 million GAM to offset the salary spend of Miles and Miazga anyway. So you're only losing the $400,000 you gained from that anyway. So you're gaining in this sense $3.7 million in GAM by losing these players and moving off of the model.
So one comment, okay, and then I do want to make like kind of like a more targeted point.
Yes.
Albright signed all those players to those contracts.
Absolutely.
So when he signs like the other players to fill the money, do we think that like he's going to hit on all of that? Or have we just, again, like I said, spent more roster resources for the same team but less?
So on average, Chris Albright has hit more than he has missed. And even when those guys have been misses over the last year or two, Yuya Kubo and let's say Teenage Hidabi, I'll even throw Yedlin in there, they were hits at one point. DeAndre Yedlin was a very important piece of this team when it was very, very, very good. Teenage Hidabi bailed out.
When was that?
Well, the team was worse from 23 to 24.
Sure, they were still.
And so far, I'm not sure is better from 24 to 25.
Points wise, they are.
Are they?
And we're only. Yes,
what did 24 finish at?
I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
I'll fact check that right now.
Please,
continue.
Please. My point is, I trust Chris Albright to be able to fill those gaps better. We know for a fact that Sergio Santos being on we don't know for a fact. We have strong reason to believe that Sergio Santos being on this roster this year was not intentional. That Teenage Hidabi is a leftover of trying to win now last year.
By the way, that was signing 2 players.
Yes.
At high TAM levels.
Yeah.
To replace one Matt Miazga.
Yeah. It was a win now move.
And so now you're making an assumption.
Yes.
By the way, like they thought that even with Miles Robinson last year, that they had to sign 2 players at high TAM contracts to replace one Matt Miazga. And now you're assuming that next year with Miles Robinson on a high DP contract, they're going to be able to improve on what they have with Matt Miazga with one player on a TAM deal.
I think you can easily make the justification for at least one max TAM player.
Then why didn't they believe Matt?
Why did they just sign the good player last year?
They didn't believe that. They didn't believe Miles could hold it down by himself. They went and they signed 2 incredibly high priced center backs to play alongside him.
If he's so damn good, why do they need that in Miazga that they then lost?
Right, but if Miles is a designated,
they got one they were able to add because of how the roster was set up, and the other was the season-ending injury designation roster budget relief for Miazga. So they only signed one. They replaced the other.
And the other, they don't feel like they can play this year.
Because he got outplayed by another guy that you brought in. This is what we always want. Yes, Lucas Engel has absolutely won the job over him.
Then the team is sunk.
Then you move on when players are not good.
If they cannot sign, so they're giving. I didn't mean to. I had like kind of a more specific. I still want to talk about the thing I want to talk about, but I do want to talk about this. Okay,
so they signed a bad player before, therefore every player they sign in the future will also be bad. They signed
2 bad players
to replace. Chidozie was not a bad player.
Well, they shipped him out.
They sold him because he was worth a lot of money.
MLS.
He begged to leave his other team.
They sold him again because this team is broke. And now you're adding a designated player. You're getting rid of $2 million in GAM. And again, no one has an answer for where you're going to get $3 million in GAM conversion.
Broke,
dude. They've got like $50,000 left on this roster.
Wait, so hold on.
The goal is to use up all of the money.
We're talking about too many different things right now.
Yeah, you want to add another one? This team last year in 2024 scored 50. Ended with the season with 59 points. They're on 52 right now. Who here's betting they're going to get 7 by the end of the year?
In 5 games, easily.
I'm not. I just put money on. I just put money on Nashville 30 minutes ago
because they have had 2 bad games in a row. I know
3.
The third place team, second in the East, we are all panicking is a horrible, bad, awful team. They have obviously proven to be better than all of the other teams in the league.
I am so fucking tired of people telling us that like. It's okay that this team keeps losing games and underperforming because other teams are good. We're supposed to be the good team.
We are at the very top of the table. I don't know what we're saying.
If I could talk to Chris Albright right now, I would ask him one question, which is like,
are we good?
Should we care about XG?
I mean, if we want to care about XG, then
I just want to know what he says.
Okay.
Should we care about XG? Does it matter?
Do you think Chris Albright is also happy with the offensive output of this team? Yes or no?
I would love to know that. I would love to know that.
Given that he keeps signing attackers over and over and over and over and over again, I'm going to assume no.
No,
if he's not happy, I want to know why.
No,
I want to know how signing Miles Robinson to a $3.4 million DP deal solves that problem.
He has to be. He has to be happy with the attack because he just took the biggest club out of his bag this offseason to improve the attack. They now can't do that. You are stuck now. Hold on. This is the attack next year too. They don't have the money to go.
Argument in reverse. So you're saying that the center backs are bad and they kept signing bad center backs and therefore it's not going to work.
Drifted.
But we have all of these strikers that we've signed. We just brought in Brenner because why not? If you just
can't touch the ball,
strikers to the roster, they'll eventually score.
It's almost like you need
working. Another DP striker.
Why didn't he sign a DP midfielder?
Yeah, that's what to say. It's almost like there's somebody that's in between the center backs who don't do a damn thing to score goals and the strikers who score a lot of goals. If only there are these people in the middle that you could invest in that would help you score more goals. What about that?
More than happy to criticize the 2026 roster build as soon as I see the 2026 roster.
For sure.
I cannot tell you who that center back is or who that midfielder is right now.
It won't be a DP because we have 3.
We have Miles.
Are we assuming that only a DP midfielder can fix the midfield? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes.
So if that's the argument, then I would just turn it off until they sign another DP midfielder. I would just stop watching because they're not going for 2 years.
This is what I was trying to avoid. Was the drift?
What is the point?
Because we are talking about
this better be the best point you've ever made because you've wanted to get back to it for like 20 minutes.
I forgot it.
I want to get back to this point. I want to get back to this point.
What's
the point? I don't remember.
What were we talking about? We were talking about
everyone listening is asking that question
too. A
good
center back can neutralize the best offensive players from the other team, therefore neutralizing their roster spend.
Here was the question I wanted to ask you.
Please.
Because we've seen the team. We've seen the team with Miles Robinson on it.
We have.
I'm assuming that the DP Miles Robinson is going to be the same Miles Robinson. Okay.
Sure.
We played right now. If the season ended today, we would play the Columbus Crew. In a best of 3 first round playoff series. We've already played the Columbus Crew twice this year.
Yes.
Miles Robinson played in both games.
Okay.
The first game was up in Columbus. We tied 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
We scored early and spent 70, 80 minutes fighting for our lives.
Well, surely Miles made a line-breaking pass that scored the winning goal in that game, right? I'm told he's really good at that.
Did they win that game in Columbus?
No, they did not.
Continue.
Okay. We also played them at home, which great. We would have home field advantage if the season ended today.
Yeah,
we would have the first game and the third game at home.
Yep.
So it's great because home field advantage that's when you feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
You in MLS especially, home field advantage is very strong. You win much more of your home games than you win your away games because of parity or whatever.
Yeah.
We lost to Columbus 4-2.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that close.
Sure.
And Miles played 90 minutes that game. If Miles is playing in the first round of the playoffs and we have a best of 3 against Columbus Crew, do you think we win that series?
Yes, we're a better team than the Columbus Crew.
That's insane.
Would
you bet your hard-earned? Would you bet?
Yes.
Actual United States currency?
Let me ask you this: who is a better team right now? The Caleb Porter coach New England Revolution, or the Wilfred Nancy Columbus Crew, the Invincibles of the Columbus Crew? Who's better right now? Who's winning a best of 3 in that matchup?
Columbus.
Yeah, because New England beat them 2-1 in Columbus like 3 weeks ago.
I do think matchups matter.
No. You don't get to point out an individual match and say, therefore we're worse.
No.
If you can't also accept it in reverse.
No, I do think matchups matter.
Sure.
But I would if you're a team that thinks you can win the cup, you have to beat whoever you play.
Yes.
And I don't think we can win a series against Columbus. I don't think we can win a game against Columbus.
That's a problem. That's not an FC Cincinnati problem. That's a
team problem because they haven't won a game against them this year.
They haven't done it.
Okay.
Also, like in the playoffs, in these MLS Cup playoffs, what happens when the game is tied in the MLS Cup playoffs?
Penalties immediately.
I assume
the first round, you go to penalties right away.
Right, you go to penalties right away.
Sure.
So surely, if this game goes to penalties against the Columbus Crew, you're going to want
Evander will make one.
You're going to want your 3 designated players taking PKs, right? Because that's your 3 best players. You want your 3 highest earning, highest designated players, the players that you think are the cornerstones of your team. You want them taking PKs, right?
Not necessarily.
How's it gone when we've had center backs take PKs on this team?
I am not saying I want Miles Robinson taking PKs. At no point in my argument am I arguing that.
Right.
Because
do you legitimately think we take a best of 3 against Columbus?
Right now, yes, we are a better team than them. Guys, they might not make the playoffs. Have you looked at where they are? They're in 7th place.
They have dominated us in both games.
Great. I need them to beat another team in order to make the playoffs.
I only care about if they beat us. I don't care if they beat New England Revolution. I care if they beat us.
They probably won't make the playoffs. The Columbus Crew, the last couple of matches.
What do you want to bet on that? What do you want to bet on that? What do you want to bet on that right now?
Toronto and drew the New York Red Bulls.
Well, I will bet
Kevin,
Invincibles.
If the Crew don't make the playoffs, I'll quit the podcast.
I don't want that to happen, though.
If the Crew don't make the playoffs, Grayson, will you go live on camera at an event?
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin, if the Crew don't make the playoffs, what's equivalent to that right here? Grayson's going to go on camera for an event. What are you doing?
I'll live stream like for 8 hours. 24 hours? 12 hours.
All right.
Including the bathroom.
Including the bathroom.
I'll
we're live in the men's room right here. All right.
Look, I am not scared of other teams, and I trust.
You should be based on how we've been playing recently.
Miles Robinson.
We shouldn't be scared of other teams. I agree.
I trust Miles Robinson to take care of Daniel Gazdag, of whoever
he should start at any point.
Yeah, he can whenever he wants to start taking care of the Crew's offense. That'd be great.
Did he play again? I know Gazdog wasn't there, but did he play against Philly when we lost 4-1? He did. He played 90 minutes.
Yeah.
That would be wonderful.
How did the DP strikers do? Should we have just added like 2 more and we would have won that game? Is that the idea?
I mean, I agree that we should question Chris Albright's talent evaluation on who he makes DP, because his DP strikers have not scored against Philly and Charlotte and Columbus and the teams that we will need to beat in the playoffs. That's a good point.
I suspect
that's a good point, and we should question this move as well.
I suspect we can all find common ground in this, that over the last 4 years, the roster build has been very good.
How many DP center backs over the last 4 years?
I'm not worried about that.
I am, because you said the roster builds are good. I agree. The roster builds have been good with TAM level center backs. We should probably keep doing that.
So hang on. That is a point I want to get back to for just a second. But I think to find the common ground, I think we can all agree that what is maybe more wrong with this team than roster construction or even individual players is the system in which they are being deployed in on the field. An inflexible formation and style of play that is not serving anybody. I think we can agree on that. Maybe we can't.
Really,
Maybe we can't.
No, I agree with you, but it doesn't
feel good.
I'm not asking you to feel good.
Right. It's also, but like everything you're saying is great, but it's also like, yeah, I agree with you. But like adding a designated player center back at the expense of a midfielder or literally anywhere else on the field also doesn't fix that problem.
But also saying the coaches don't deploy the players well doesn't make me feel better about something that I feel like isn't an optimal player resource.
That's fair.
Designation.
That's fair. I just need you to get there, because then I'm going to ask you this question. Are we assuming that Chris Albright has either A, gotten amnesia and completely forgotten how to be a pretty good GM in Major League Soccer, or B, has made a error that is so egregious it calls into question whether or not he was ever smart, not good at a GM, ever smart before this week?
Can I answer the question 2 ways?
Please.
Okay. So the one way to answer the question is, back in like June, when there was like a long break in the season.
Yeah.
We were told that the team understood that there was a problem and that there was like a meeting or something. I don't want to like overstate anything, right. But that there was like some type of like evaluation about what was wrong with the team, and that everybody got on board and everybody understood that there needed to be some type of like tactical big shakeup. Right.
Sure.
And that didn't happen. At least as far as we can tell.
Teenage and AB never saw the field after that meeting,
but like,
for what it's worth.
But like there
that might have been
like
the only move. Right.
There definitely wasn't like
a
tactical, like we changed how we pass, or we fixed the offense shakeup.
We certainly never saw a different formation or a real personnel shakeup.
The passing chart never changed. Like the horseshoe never went away.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
The field goal, let's say.
Man, that horseshoe it looks so great with a designated player center back at the back of that horseshoe. That horseshoe's going to look lucky as hell.
Chief, you did say you want your designated players touching the ball a lot.
Not like this. Monkey's paw curled.
So, like, you know, I have an issue with that.
Sure.
Kevin, can you repeat like your exact question?
So basically, this, as we see it, and as conventional wisdom sees it, here's my other mistake.
Yeah, here was my other way thing, is that I'll add this with like the DeAndre Yedlin trade and like a lot of other stuff. There have been a lot of Chris Albright moves where it's been like, unless there is another piece of information that we're missing, this doesn't make any sense.
And then like a week later, the other piece of information comes up. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I do want to allow for there being some type of
escape hatch for the last hour.
Well, I do want to allow for there being like some other piece of information that like, and I put it on Twitter when it like happened. Like all we get, like, this is a 2026 move. All that matters then is what the 2026 roster looks like.
Right.
And then if there's other information that comes out, and like, again, like we said at the beginning, FC Cincinnati didn't say like he's a designated player.
He's a U.S. men's national team capped extraordinary player who doesn't hit the salary cap for.
There's a infinite amount of other information that could that could come out that changes how we feel about this move.
Yeah,
I'm not going to hedge. I don't think that.
Chief doesn't like it.
There is under no circumstances should you ever use a designated player spot on a center back. Sorry,
fair enough.
It's
what if you get an extra one, but you only used it on a center back?
I still would refuse out of principle.
I will refuse your blood money.
Right. Yeah. Kevin, you talked about how great this team was for the last 3 years. I agree. Brought this point up. This team's been great for the last 3 years. About if they can find a way to win another game this year, which, they will break the record for best record over 3 years. They did all of that.
Significant.
Sure, but it's significant. They did all of it with TAM center backs.
Sure.
There is no good reason to deploy your roster and use this tool this way.
But
you have been successful doing this the other way. And I'm sorry if it was a choice between Miles Robinson or somebody else as a TAM center back. I love you, Miles. Go get your money someplace else.
Yeah.
There is nothing. It is not against Miles. It is a fundamental disagreement. I do not think it is smart to use a designated player spot on a center back. And it is so, I think it is so stupid that I agree with Grayson. I think there's more information somewhere we don't know about.
Yeah, that's really what it comes down to for me is those 2 points, which is that this team has looked good with 2 outfield designated players. That is presumably the case next year. And also with the point you brought up about this team soon to be the most winningest team over the course of 3 years, you generally will win more bets than you lose betting on Noonan and Albright, and I would even say Albright specifically. So in that sense, I am putting my faith in Albright until he shows me a reason to stop doing that. And that's really what it comes down to for me.
I'll end my thoughts here, but I had a very bad thought when this first came out, and I don't agree with it, but it was my first thought and I will share it. And it was that given the length of the deal, that it's 2 years and one option, my first thought was, it's the window is closed after this year. Okay. So we're doing a high floor move by signing Miles Robinson for 2 years, and we're going to use that time to rebuild. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think that's true. Okay.
I mean, we have under contract next year Denke and Devander.
But that was my intrusive thought.
Yeah.
Was that the team just was like, if it doesn't happen for us this year, it's not going to happen for us, and we're going to have to take some time to kind of revamp the roster. So might as well bring the best defender. And again, I looked at all the defenders in MLS. I didn't see an obvious candidate for that guy should obviously make more than Miles Robinson.
Right.
I can't the dollar amount is not that important to me.
Once you broke,
there's nobody. There really is nobody in the league who I would pay more to bring in than Miles Robinson.
Not Aaron Long.
Yeah, right. So that's I think an important data point, but it was an intrusive thought that that this is that if the team doesn't get it done, we're gonna tread water for 2 years. We're at least gonna have like a top defender and some other good players and not suck, and we'll have that time to like rebuild the roster to like go for it again. And I didn't like that thought, and I don't want. Yeah, exactly.
If the team was not going to try, and this was a window is closed move, wouldn't they just not sign Robinson? Surely
no, you got to keep your job. You got to keep like the fans buying.
Yeah, but you would sign Miazga, and that would be fine.
I think they rate Miles higher than
sure.
Matt
they clearly rate Miles higher than Matt, and I think Matt's gone.
Yeah.
There's an argument for moving on with him, even if you do love him for what that's worth.
That's an argument for another day.
It sure is. Do we want to spend 2 minutes previewing this Nashville game?
let's just predict it
right now.
Predict it right now. Chief, how many errors does the scorer give Miles Robinson on Saturday?
None. Like the scorer's got to the amount of like PR spin that will be like for that Miles was the greatest signing and like he made all of the difference and everything. They got to hype this now. Like they got to have like super cuts of this guy like intercepting passes and like one of his cool passes over to the other center back before receiving that pass back and then passing to the other center back from there. Oh, it's gonna be electric. The FC. It's funny. Grayson pointed this out and I double checked it before we started recording. The FC is a dog money line in this game at home to Nashville.
Wild.
Why would you think otherwise, given how this team has looked over the last like 4 or 5 games it's played?
Nashville has won 1 in their last 5.
Yeah, well, the Sharps think we're a lot worse. So
that's fair, but
having said that, I'm going to say the FC loses 1-0 because that's what we do.
There are no Sharps in MLS betting.
Yeah, that's true.
Grayson.
I'm going to say the FC loses 2-1.
Wow.
Hey, at least we scored a goal.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
FC Cincinnati is winning 3-0 and Miles Robinson scores a goal.
It's like a month. Three is a month's worth of goals.
If we lose 1-0 at home, so where it's like what? 4 in a row, 1-0 losses.
Yeah.
At home.
That's what we do.
It's gonna be tough.
I do think that like you have to fire Pat. Like what are we doing? Like what are you trying to do? Like what
does it get you at this point though? You gotta see it out. Like what are you gonna do? Tyrone Marshall in like it is what it is at this point.
No, I agree. Cast. I agree that there's literally nothing that gets the coaches fired. But
we said this. I said this.
If you go with this team with 4 straight 1-0 losses at home,
do you think that they're going to get? Do you think they're going to get 59 points, Grayson?
59 points to the
59 points. 7 more points in the remaining 5
I don't think
games.
we get there.
2 wins and a draw in 5 games.
I don't think we get there.
That's getting results in 3 of the 5 games.
Those
That's
games
way better than
are Nashville at home, LA Galaxy on the road, Orlando at home, Red Bulls on the road, Montreal at home.
I think we get a result against Montreal.
So you beat Montreal, beat better. LA Galaxy, tie.
I don't think we beat LA Galaxy on the road. I don't think we get to 59.
That'd be wild.
That's tough. That's tough.
I mean, that's 7 points. If you were asking me to set the over under, I think I'd set the over under at like 7.5 for the rest of the year.
Current form, no way.
Current form.
If they figured something out this last week,
yeah, they've had 2 weeks off. I mean, they have had some time to integrate some of these pieces.
We have been told before that they've got time to figure stuff out, and then it's just like, oh no, the team took a vacation for a week, so. Just had our regular. Yeah. No. We'll see.
We shall see.
We'll see.
But if they do win, that would be awesome. That'd be keen. If anyone's listening to this that's involved with the team, stop. And number two, if you're
don't.
But like, if you could win this weekend, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
but then forget this podcast exists.
Yeah, but first win. Don't remember this podcast long enough to win this weekend,
and then forget
it exists.
Yeah. Download the celebratory episode.
No, stop listening.
No.
Yeah, don't listen. And let us know when that extra designated player is coming, because that would be important to know.
They did not call him a designated player in the press release. Just going to hang my hat on that for a while.
Keep hanging.
Chief.
Fuck Columbus.
The Cincy PostCast is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out online at thepostcincy.com. You can also follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Blue Sky, though, you'll find we're a little more active than the other places. We're also on YouTube, where you can listen to this episode if you aren't listening to it already. We are also putting up video content semi-regularly, including the Away Days series. We want to give a huge thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers for providing the music for this episode. They are a lovely band, and you can find more information out about them in the description of this episode. And if you happen to enjoy what you just heard, can I please ask that you like us, that you rate us on whatever app you're listening to, and maybe more importantly than all of that, share this episode with a friend. When it comes up at work, you're talking about FC Cincinnati, I say, hey, I listened to an FC Cincinnati podcast. I think you guys will like it. It would really, really help us out. Nothing helps a podcast travel more than a good recommendation from a friend, family member. That would be awesome. When it comes to the sorting algorithms that control our lives, a 5-star review would be much appreciated. Also, leaving a sort of written review weirdly does more than that. That's how the algorithms work. So maybe say a nice or a mean thing, whatever. Just as long as you give us 5 stars, that'll really, really, really help us out. And if you are looking for more MLS content, check out our other podcast, The World's Gam. Again, a link will be in the description of this episode. That is where we touch on league-wide storylines and news, and we talk about other games and a couple other teams in there as well. Think you will enjoy it if you are just dipping your toes into Major League Soccer. A huge thank you to all of our sponsors. A even bigger thank you to all of our patrons over at Patreon. But maybe most importantly, thank you for listening to this episode.